because it was not very proportional, if I can say that. And it was just like, wait a minute, what was that? And then I had to do a double take.
Is this a real story?
Yes, dude.
Here I saw my first, and then I was at, like, dude, I mean, God, makeup.
You keep track of your BBLs. That was my first BBL.
And sometimes we work out and we lose what we want to keep, and so there's both sides of that.
Is that
spectrum.
where my butt went?
BBL, baby.
I can help you with that.
Get ready for hot takes and insight from local industry experts in real estate, business, and lifestyle. He used to play ball with the Padres. He played hockey for the Lobos. Now they're crushing it in the real estate game. Together, they'll showcase the best of the Duke City. This is All About You, ABQ.
That's right. It is all about you, ABQ. Now, the goal of the show is to highlight the best of our city's industry experts in real estate, culture, and lifestyle so that you walk away with some value, feeling inspired. Now, the way we like to do that is to answer the questions you may have or interview the guests that you want to see. So we invite you to join the conversation. You can reach out on our social media tag up here or join our email list to get some timely tips about our community and real estate market. Hey, I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Hi, I'm Jeffrey the Giraffe from former Toys R Us.
You probably recognize Jeffrey the Giraffe as the head coach of the University of New Mexico men's Lobo hockey team. Now he's absolutely crushing it in whatever he does.
Yeah, just selling franchises. This is Skip from HGTV's House Hunters, and he's part of the top 2% producing real estate agents in the world.
Here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. We're joined by Kali Orozco, Kurves by Kali.
Did you say it right?
Yes, I did say it right. Helping others remember their sense of self-love and confidence beyond physical transformation.
Boy, could we use her?
One of us could, I'll tell you that much.
Well no, yeah. Two of us could.
It's going to be a great show, so stay tuned to the end for everybody's favorite Skip's Tips. Grant, dude, I see you wearing your red Lobo socks, bro. Everyone's a Lobo. I mean,
Yeah,
Lobos can do no wrong.
Yeah, except for fucking Rick Pitino, or I actually don't even remember his first name anymore because I hate him so much. Guy living in his brother's footsteps leaves the program, and maybe I'll go off. Who cares? I'll do this. The program does not want me to go
Talking about men's Lobo basketball.
Yeah, a guy leaves the basketball team. I think people find UNM to be a stepping stone for success. I'm sick of that. I'm a Lobo, played my ass off, coached the Lobos for 10 years, and I'm tired of people getting success and then taking off. So yeah, we could talk about that. Like,
woof, 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 buddy. Woof, woof, woof. Sounds like you're growling. No, okay, well, let's shift gears then. Obviously, as we roll into spring, man, we're finally getting some nice warm weather. We're doing a couple of renovations at the house. I know you're working through your bathroom renovation.
Don't even talk. Don't talk about updates with me.
No, but we finally made it to our front yard transformation. We had a giant tree outside and sharp rocks, and here it is, our transformation. We finally got it redone, so now it's like a...
Your dogs became Clifford the Big Red Dog, like exposure, like they're now 39 pounds each.
Yeah, they're huge.
That's a nice camera angle. They look like brontosauruses.
Yeah, so
that's pretty.
It's great. It's a nice little event. What we figured out is that our front yard is south facing, so in the winter time, that's the only place that gets sun.
Yeah.
But the problem was we had this giant pinon tree that would just drop sap and pine cones, and then it was over razor rocks. So
Did you partition it? Is that new?
Yeah, we built a wall and everything else. We finally built that wall.
Oh, you built the wall
Yeah,
also?
I got some government funding.
Trump Jr.
Got some government funding, built the old wall. Grant, so one thing I wanted to talk about is in current events, as we're talking about real estate, I know we were ranting back and forth about a couple deals going on, but everyone says that spring is the best time to jump in the real estate market.
Yes. Why though?
But I'll tell you this much. Realtor.com just released a study. The best time to sell is the week of April 13th, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah. Right.
During this period, the housing market conditions will significantly favor sellers. So what that means is that there's buyers online shopping heavily during this week. And in the beginning of spring, there's not as many listings to choose from at the end of the spring. And right now, as you know, the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is at a 4-month low. So buyers have more purchasing power. So sellers, start prepping your home now. It takes about 30 days to get your home ready for market, so you can probably hit that timeline. What they're finding is that homes typically sell for over asking, and 17% higher buyer interest during that week.
That's pretty crazy. So in this study, what was it a seller's benefit or a buyer's?
For the sellers, it's the best time to get on because there's fewer competition. Although our market is shifting towards a more balanced market, there is a ton of buyer activity. Pending sales are up 13%, meaning buyers are spending the money.
I hate to make any rate commentary or sentiment because it changes so quick and it's volatile, but rates are really low right now. I mean, they got low in this last week, almost 1% lower. But I would hate to convey that, and then by the time you see what I said, you're like, okay, we're ready. I'm like, oh yeah. You waited 13 hours.
Rates are in the 3% today, according to Grant.
Oh, sorry. You waited 3 minutes. I will speak to. I'll be knowledgeable for the first time in like 3 months about rates. What's happening is the Dow has been in a crumble, and whatever your remark is about politics is because, oh boy, tariffs are a great idea and things cost more for all of us. So the Dow has been crashing a bit, and so what happens is people park their money in the 10-year bond because it's a flight to safety. So if you go, hey, I don't want my money to be lost anymore, you take your money and you put it in the 10-year bond.
Safer.
Yeah, so the 10-year bond is attached to mortgage rates, and that's what mortgage rates are predicated on. So I've told everyone that the Fed rate has, I won't say nothing to do with mortgage rates, but it's not as attached as people believe it to be. So the 10-year bond has taken a liking, and mortgage rates are succeeding.
Good. Welcome back to UABQ. I'm Skip Adams, owner of Sold by Skip Real Estate Brokerage here in Albuquerque.
Another flawless episode. Here we are, Grant Harvey, home loan expert.
We're joined in studio today by Kali Orozco.
Yes.
Kurves by Kali.
Yes.
Finally.
Good job.
Thank you for coming on the show. This whole episode sucks so far, so I'm glad you're here to save the day.
I was so worried about being professional.
We're having some technical difficulties, but we're back. We're back on.
Would you call it technical difficulty, Mark?
Yeah, we're having in
Mark,
studio.
come on out.
Mark. No, but I appreciate you coming on because you and I had connected on Instagram, but you have a fantastic backstory in the fact that small town girl, rancher, and then had a chance to leave to Arizona and come back to Albuquerque. Let's talk a little bit more about ranching, though.
Okay, I grew up in Magdalena.
Where?
It's Magdalena.
No.
Have
Skip say it to have a
I will say it the correct way, Magdalena.
You were almost there, but I'll give you that.
You tried.
Magdalena. We've all driven through Magdalena. Go ahead.
So it's a small rural community. It's mostly ranching that supports the community. I grew up on a small ranch, if you will. My family bred horses. And, I did that whole thing, the ranching life, if you will.
What's the ranching show? Yellowstone. Mm-hmm. So anybody that watches Yellowstone is just like, oh my God, that'd be the perfect lifestyle. Yeah. And then we took a trip to...
Not the way I saw. They go through a lot of hardship, Skip.
Yeah, well, if you're soft, you can't handle it.
I will be honest, I have not seen an episode of Yellowstone.
Well, let me tell you what it's about. Beautiful skies of Montana, ranching, and then I remember
Disneyland.
We took a trip out there and I was like, oh my God, Montana's beautiful. And then I realized we have all of that in our backyard here in New Mexico.
Right.
With
you don't have
mountains.
geysers that I almost got reprimanded by a park, like a
ranger?
Yeah, I went out to go. Let's look at the geysers. I went out there and
put your face in the geyser.
No, I went to run out to them. They're like, you can't. No, you're gonna die. So
Yeah.
We're glad you're safe, buddy. So Magdalena. What is Magdalena known for?
It's a hunting. It's known for hunting. A lot of the governor's tags are found out in the forest of Magdalena. So it's really rooted in hunting, ranching, really the lives of the pioneers, really. I mean, it is just the simple life, if you will.
It's the Wild West. How far is the border to Arizona?
It's about...
Because you're southwest Mexico.
Yes, and so really what's after Magdalena is the border. So if you are driving through Magdalena, you're probably driving to Arizona. Because there's nothing that's going to take you out there.
Right.
But it's known for hunting and ranching.
And how far away is it from Hatch?
From Hatch, I would say
Why is that?
maybe a
Why
few
is that?
hours.
Why is
Yeah,
that?
I don't
Because I'm
know.
trying to think. Every time
okay, so
you
where it's
have
like the
to
North
cut-
Star. Okay, so where is that from Hatch?
Where is it from Allsups?
You have to cut west in Socorro. So you get down in Socorro, you cut west on Highway 60, and
It makes sense to me now.
and
Okay.
you run into it.
Okay.
Yeah, so in the middle of nowhere, I grew up, it's a hard life. And I would always see Albuquerque's lights in the background. And I'm like, I'm going to be there one day.
The big city.
Yeah, I always knew, yes, I grew up, in the country and I lived that life. I had to, as a way of life. But I always knew it wasn't for me.
You got out of the small town and went to school in Flagstaff. You've spent time in Flagstaff.
NAU, right?
Yes, I was a lumberjack.
Yeah, well, we played plenty of games with them as a guy who got plenty of stitches from them and coached against them. But I love Flagstaff.
It's a great
It's
town.
fantastic. Yes,
Absolutely.
It's,
The winters-
I would say it's Arizona's Taos. Would you agree?
I would agree. I would agree. It's, the safe haven for people that live in Phoenix. During the summer, everybody goes up from the valley into Flagstaff, and you really get a relief from the heat. In the middle of summer, you're looking at 85 degrees.
And actually, if you have
so
a
it's
big
amazing.
brain, you don't go to ASU, you go to NAU.
Oh,
That's
wait,
right.
what did you study at NAU?
Nursing,
Beautiful.
yes.
I love that. And so what was...
You love nursing?
I love nurses.
It's not too late. He's taking it.
What about...
We have gotten unglued again.
No rules on this show. So to Arizona, then what called you back to New Mexico?
Well, my story is colorful, and in terms of transparency, I didn't finish school. I was homeless, and I knew that I didn't want to obviously be stuck in that cycle. So I moved back home. And when I say home, I mean New Mexico. I didn't go back to Magdalena. I really was, wanting to be at home, but I
Something that's familiar,
decided
that you're
to move to
nostalgic for.
Albuquerque, yes.
So let me tell you this. I appreciate your honesty and transparency, and like a guy who's gotten through some struggle like myself.
Absolutely.
Like I love it. Thank you for your honesty. What made you say, "Hey, now I'm going to Albuquerque now"? Like what was your savior?
So I knew that I was not going to go back to Magdalena. I didn't want to go back to that life, but I knew that New Mexico was home. And when we talk about New Mexico, deeply rooted in tradition and family. And so that ultimately was what brought me back, was family. I was able to be closer to family, and so that was important for me.
So the next pursuit, if you're homeless, right, and you go like survival instinct.
Mm-hmm.
So what did you do next, if I have to ask that question?
So I knew that a certain amount of time had passed in that facing those challenges. And so a certain point in time, I had to really be accountable in terms of, if I don't get out of this cycle, I will likely be in this cycle for the rest of my life.
Right.
And I didn't know what was going to happen when I came back home, but I came home, I got an apartment, and I got a job, a really great job,
Yeah.
and I still was able to use all of my education that I had with nursing. And so I was still able to, be productive in the sense that I really was rebuilding my life.
Okay, so the catalyst, then you go from there to now, like where you're at. Like what was the building blocks?
So I really was rebuilding my life in terms of financially, and establishing a place where I can call home, and be my safe space.
You know
So
what I
that
love?
was important.
What I love too is that you landed in Nob Hill, which is one of the best neighborhoods
Yes.
to be in.
Yes.
And I think if you're gonna, go for the fresh start, Nob Hill is a fun place to be because it's social. It keeps you busy and.
I will tell you, so I don't live in the same space that I did when I moved, but I still live in the same neighborhood. I like Nob Hill. It's centrally located, easily accessible, no matter where you want to get to. And so I think think that Nob Hill is really a great space to be at. It has its challenges, but it's a great place to settle.
And there needs to be some believers, right? I mean, like, you could go, oh, I wish this would, like, rehabilitate itself as a neighborhood, but, like, yeah, put your money where your mouth is, live there, you know, and I love that. I mean,
Yes.
Nob Hill is a great place, but it has to have, just like we're downtown, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
We
It's
love downtown.
evolving.
Yeah.
We were talking about that off camera. I think that the reputation of Nob Hill is not what it used to be when they're knocking down the historic hotels that are prone to violence and crime. They're really building some wonderful condos, but it pushes those people into our neighborhoods. And we have old established neighborhoods with alleyways, so you can find a lot of people in the alleyways. But if you are on Central in Nob Hill, you can see that the evolution is happening in real time.
Yeah.
The businesses that are popping up are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that you bring a different perspective of being able to live in Arizona and then coming back here and breathing some new life into our economy. Let's talk more about Kurves by Kali, because this is something like we talk about a rebirth of Nob Hill after COVID. What was the essence of starting your business?
I mean, rebirth is a great word. So during COVID, I was working at UNM and I was feeling unfulfilled. I was not happy. I was successful in what I did. I did it very well. Professionally, I'm a coder. And so I just was not happy.
Wait, hold on, are you? Huh?
I'm about to turn 40 this year.
But coding is like
That's like a
young
young
stuff,
person's game, right?
I'm giving you credit.
Thank you.
Yeah, coding. My brother talks about coding, and I think he's still 13 years old. But no, but okay, never mind. Let's move past that. Coding made me have to go, what?
I was good at it. I was in a great department, but internally during COVID, I feel like a lot of people were reevaluating not only what was important for them, but really what is going to have longevity in their life when there's so much uncertainty. So I started trading crypto during COVID.
We all did,
and
yeah.
I made a lot of money.
Look, you guys should,
I made a lot of
did it.
money, I must say. And at that same time that I was feeling unfulfilled,
Well.
I had the body contouring world come into my path. And I realized that it didn't require a licensure program, just a training program. And so the next week, after I found out about this new and emerging part of the aesthetics world, I was in California. I used the money that I made with crypto and I went to California. I took the courses and I invested in the machines and I came back. And at the same time, I had a contact, a great friend that was opening their own med spa, and she gave me the opportunity to join the team. So it was really important to have people who believe in you and can help guide you along the way.
Yeah.
When you are being brought on new paths, if you will, there's always going to be somebody that the universe delivers to you to really get you going and to give you that push start and that confidence that you truly can do
There you go.
anything.
I mean, when your beginnings were self-made. I mean,
Yes.
if people who don't understand crypto, like my guy over here, you'll see that like this was a big risk, and then
Absolutely.
to extract the profit and turn it into something. Like I'm a guy who goes, F yeah, like
yeah,
I
thank
understand.
you.
I understand
Definitely a rebirth, you know.
Pretty risky stuff too, right? Isn't it kind of
Absolutely.
scary to just place
Absolutely.
it in there? Did you do limit buying, just by the way?
I didn't. And I was actually part of a crypto group. And so I didn't do a whole lot of analyzing the reports.
Yeah.
But I had somebody, again, who was helping me to make the right type of trades that worked for me.
That's sick.
Yes.
And you got all the yields. Okay. Well,
Yes.
we won't go into that. Now I'm
he's
revved
geeking out.
up. Like,
Yeah,
oh, okay.
It's a great story. It really is, because you really can bring a whole lot
Yeah.
out of nothing.
Can you tell me about your business though? Like, let's talk.
Yeah,
about
Yes, I'm so sorry.
let's
No,
talk
no,
more
no, no.
about-
I didn't want to see it though. I was the one making you explain crypto. Tell me about what you do.
So I specialize in body contouring. Now, historically, if we were going to have a conversation about body contouring, we are talking about, 10 years ago, we're talking about treatments that have to bring you into a plastic surgeon's office, whether it's liposuction, tummy tuck, facelift, BBLs, all of
I saw
that.
my first BBL in the wild, if I can just say that on camera.
And how did you like
I was
it?
at Dion's and it caught me off guard because it was not very proportional, if I can say that. And it was just like, wait a minute, what was that? And then I had to do a double take.
Is this a real story?
Yes, dude.
Here
Have you
I
ever
saw
seen
my
a BBL?
first, and then I was at Dion. Like, dude, I mean, God, makeup.
You keep
make
track
up
of your
mind.
BBLs. That was my first BBL.
And that is historically what we
What
think
was his
of
name?
when we're thinking of body contouring.
Brett? Brett, yeah,
No,
Brett.
so continue. So body contouring has obviously taken a wild change
Yes,
from invasive
so
to...
During COVID, the technology was really starting to emerge where there's options to get comparable results, but that are non-invasive. And so those are the treatments that I specialize in. Everybody can benefit from them, so that's the great thing. Whether it's reducing fat, I can melt your fat, I can tighten your skin, I can sculpt your body, but relative to anywhere. So face, body, all of that.
Well, what I liked on your website is helping others remember their sense of self-love and confidence beyond physical transformation. So it's not just the body transformation.
You know, it's not. And I realized that in the very beginning. So when we're doing consultations, I get to see their area of interest, align their goals with what the treatments can offer.
Are there
And
limits of areas of interest, though? Just so, we don't have Skip.
I can get my biceps bigger, right? is
No,
what you're
no,
saying.
it's not the
Well,
area
you know,
of
I
interest.
can-
We're talking about. Okay, keep on.
If you can pinch it, I can treat it, is usually what I say.
You can throw it, you can pinch it. That's about the most you can do. Okay.
And, we digress. So whether we want to cut
I know
that
you
or
can't
not.
pinch it, by the way. My wife will get pinched.
You can't even pay. Wow, it's getting worse. So like if I'm walking in there and I go, hey, I've got, we're 45 now. I have this
Years.
side whatever. What you go, hey, Kate. So here's your options.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so these treatments were specifically designed to target tissue that you cannot target with working out and diet alone.
sit-ups.
And so if
No,
you
I
have-
appreciate that. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off because
it's okay.
a lot of people, I'm into bodybuilding and people go, I just want to get rid of this, and you go, well, that's not how the body works.
Mm-hmm.
We store fat, and you can't do that necessarily. So
Right.
keep
And
going.
traditionally, no, you can't. When we are talking about these non-invasive technologies, we absolutely can. And so everybody is going to have tissue that's resistant to diet and exercise. There's no way of getting around that. And so we use the technology to, if it's fat, melt it away using ultrasound. If you have lost weight and the skin is just loose post losing that volume, I can get more structure into your skin to get you toned, firmed, lifted, that sort of thing.
I endorse what you said because you're right. It's some things there's no measures you can take to target sometimes unless
Yes.
there's
And sometimes we work out and we lose what we want to keep, and so there's both sides of that.
Is that
spectrum.
where my butt went?
BBL, baby.
I can help you with that.
Where is your storefront?
So I am located downtown, so Mountain and 5th Street, right across the street from the Johnny Tapia Community Center. They're undergoing a great renovation and they're going to be unveiling a great new park. I'm right across the street from that park.
That's great. So a lot of foot traffic, I'm guessing, but also, another business downtown. We always, try and promote downtown as best we can
Love
for
that.
bringing local
Yes.
business down here, bringing people down here to spend some money and kind of breathe some new life into downtown.
Yes, and a perfect time now. The weather is getting so nice that a lot of people will be out and about downtown, so that's great.
Well, a lot of new businesses. In fact, there's the new hotel that just opened up across the street behind Ex Novo.
Yes.
Has a fantastic restaurant.
Absolutely. They did a great job. I was just there yesterday, and I must say they did a great job. It is themed, so it's a little retro. However, the food, the drinks, the patio,
What's it
it's a
called?
great
What's it
energy. Downtowner.
The Downtowner.
Yes.
We're going to go check it out and do some filming there, I think.
Perfect. I highly suggest the drinks.
When it comes to starting a business, we have both started businesses and it's, there's a lot of challenges that go into it. But I think you have a cool story in just being a Native American ancestry,
Yes.
woman-owned
Thank
business.
you.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
you.
not the women. Yeah,
You don't champion
my
women.
sex change isn't in place all the way. Yeah.
She has a machine for that. Any hurdles that you had starting a new business, especially coming out of COVID and trying to find your way?
Well, there's always going to be challenges, and so it's so important to have people behind you who are more ahead in their journey than you are, they can help you along those challenges based off of their experience. That's super important. So I had a lot of people along the way that believed in me and gave me opportunities, and you have to take them. You know, I am scared of everything. It's just the cancer in me. But it does not matter if you are scared. Those are the things that you have to do.
That's how you grow.
Absolutely.
Well, you took some big steps growing, being on our show today under the bright lights, under these
That's probably the scariest move you ever made.
You've seen how we operate here, but you have a great following online, and it sounds like you're doing everything right, and we wish you all the best in success in Kurves by Kali.
That's right.
Pretty soon you're going to have some curve skip.
Oh, thanks, Guy.
I'll pay for it.
We could do your consultation.
She's like, you need one now.
You know how many curves you need? Just not enough money.
Coming up next, here's why you're going to want to stay tuned. It's everybody's favorite, Skip's Tips. This is UABQ.
Get that edit tape out. Hi, we're back. Segment 3. Thank you for our special guest, Skip's Tips.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even get it. He's cut off my...
Skip's Tips. Anything that saves us time, makes us more money, allows us to have more fun in real estate or in real life.
Anything that gives us emphysema.
You know, one mistake I see home buyers making that could cost them thousands, and it's buying a property that's in a floodplain. There's certain areas of Albuquerque and to the south that run along the Rio Grande River that are subject to flooding. But did you know your homeowner's insurance does not guard against flood damage to the property? So you'll have to take out flood insurance, which will add money to your yearly bill. So one way to protect yourself is to take time and investigate that FEMA flood map to determine whether your property falls into a floodplain or not. It could save you thousands down the road and plenty of heartache before you go to resell. Share this with a friend and tell them Skip said so.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let me add to that, though, because I actually do feel like what you said was very useful, and the fact that a lot of times people will shop for houses and they're in the floodplain, and I have to break the news to them that they have to get flood insurance, and it may be like another $110 a month. It happens often in Los Lunas. So people go, oh, this is the house I want. I go, well, I mean, guess what? I'm going to tell you about an added cost that your real estate agent should have known about.
Yeah, it's always something we want to check. Saves you money in the long run, especially if you want to make that...
Saving marriages, baby carriages, Skip's Tips.
Every Wednesday night and Sunday morning around the world on YouTube and Spotify.
Maybe no longer if this keeps up.
This is all about you, ABQ.
Watching you, ABQ.